Before he became a comic book writer, Tom King worked for the CIA, partwise in Iraq. So it's no wonder that these experiences have been used, rather sooner than later, as the background for a comic. Maybe it is a wonder because the complexity and chaos of Iraq, shortly after it fell to the US, the utter confusion and disorder, that's actually so anti-comic book. I mean, I don't have to tell you that there are a lot of comics out there, from Transmetropolitan to Lazarus to whatever, that are political and manage to create a complex world with a lot of references to our world today. But usually and generally speaking, it's much easier to tell a story on a much less complex premise. A premise that gives us some kind of entry point, an overview, something to hold on to. Some good guys versus bad guys, that kind of thing. But Baghdad in February 2004, 10 months after the fall, that's a dense mashup of opposed people, opposing interests, of lies, half-truths, betrayal and unlikely alliances. There's absolutely no overview or something to hold on to. And good guys versus bad guys? Forget it. An Iraqi called Nasir worked for the police under Saddam Hussein. He actually was some kind of interrogator, and you can imagine what this meant in the Saddam regime. And the first thing we see of him is how he kills 3 men. But when you think that Nasir is our evil guy in the story, forget it. He turns out to be one of the characters that we actually will root for in the further run of the story. A man that wants to protect his family and almost got broken when he couldn't protect them. The closest to being a good guy is the sort of hero in the book, is the police instructor Chris, who is pretty tough, intelligent and courageous. He gets assigned to solve a murder case. That's obviously Tom King's trick to give us something familiar in this confusing setting. A sheriff solving a crime case. But to solve this crime, he has to rely on unlikely alliances with the aforementioned Nasir and his wife. Maybe the best issue of the 12 issues is one completely devoted to a little downtime and small talk and big talk between Chris and Nasir's wife, Fatima, while they both emptying a bottle of booze in one of Saddam's former and now destroyed palaces. And there's Sophia, an Iraq woman whose family was killed by Nasir and Saddam's police, who went to America and came back, working as a translator. An unbelievably multi-layered and interesting character. As all the characters seem to be very realistic and multi-dimensional, with the exception of some US scumbags who screw up big time and literally walk over dead bodies in their delusion that everything is justified in this war. One thing is sure, if you're seeking some kind of US patriotic edification literature, this book won't do much for you. Even though King doesn't go as far as to portray the whole invasion as one big mistake, he surely doesn't go out of his way to defend it neither. He couldn't give us an overview as a matter of course, but he tells his story in so many different perspectives, showing us that there are so many perspectives that it feels true. As I said it before, good or bad questions aren't the motive of this book. And that's one of the many reasons why Sheriff of Babylon, or Babylon, is such a damn good book. Very probably one of the best books about war ever written. And this includes all the books without pictures. Speaking of pictures, Mitch Gerads drew and colored every page and panel of the 12-issue run, which was concluded with the 12th issue, by the way. He is one of these artists who obviously need photographs and do a lot of photo tracing, photoshopping and such, but he does it very successfully. And to be honest, I think for this kind of story there is no way around. To create the necessary realism, you just have to use photos as a reference. And as long as it is done as skillfully as Mitch Gerads' art, I can't say enough how good and impactful and impressive the whole comic looks, especially in this slightly oversized hardcover collection. It's recommended for everyone, especially the politically interested, whether they are into comics or not. If they think comics are just simpletons kiddie stuff, they are up for a big surprise. Thanks for listening and watching. Goodbye.